Award season is over, and the trees are covered in new leaves. It's the start of Blockbuster season. One of the times of the year studios release bigger budgeted films they don't expect to be in the running for trophies. One such film this year is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the fourth film in the relaunched Planet of the Apes series, and the first time Disney, 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Studios takes a crack at birthing an Apes film. I'm pleased to say 20th Century Studios did tone down their normal franchise-killing tactics of putting their politics in this one, but it's still not a perfect film. I very much liked moments, and there is good character development, especially with our story's hero, Noah. For younger viewers who may not know what character development is, let me quickly explain. It's the process of a character growing before our eyes to be able to overcome some obstacle they are faced with. This concept was very popular in stories up until about 15 years ago, and is one of the reasons some characters are quoted and idolized for a long time, unlike the badly written characters we generally get these days. Who quotes Ray or this girl in Ant-Man? Additionally, there is a somewhat complex message in this story too. I delayed doing this video as it took me time to contemplate if this was deliberate or an accident. Maybe there is a glimmer of hope for the Disney shareholder. If you don't want this movie spoiled, I suggest watching something else now. The fourth movie picks up 300 years after the death of Andy Serkis's character Caesar, who we followed in the previous three films. Caesar was the first ape to gain sentience, and in this time he has become something of a religious figure, like a prophet, and his words are starting to be remembered and understood differently by various parts of ape society. Some remember him as a figure of peace and harmony, others as a great liberator, and as our story's main protagonist Noah, knowing nothing of him at all. The name Caesar also influences elements who believe he was a leader like a Roman emperor, with the film's kind of villain declaring himself Proximus Caesar and driven to build a kingdom. I love the idea of watching the formation of religions. There is something here that is kind of cool too, as we're sort of breaking the fourth wall with the audience having seen who Caesar was in the previous films. I have nothing to criticize here at all. Now, the film starts with Noah and his two friends Suna and Anya looking for eagle eggs. His village's culture has developed around an ape's bond with their eagle. The film shows us how eagles will catch fish to bring back to the village. Apes and eagles need each other. When an ape comes of age, they must venture out into the old city and try to take an egg from a wild eagle's nest. Noah's father, Koru, is the village's leader and responsible for overseeing the let's call it eagle stable, making Noah feel extra pressure to choose a strong egg. As it is implied, he would likely take over as leader when his father passes on. Returning to their horses after the Easter eagle egg hunt, they notice a blanket is missing and quickly realize it was taken by a human. With minimal difficulty, they recover the blanket and get back to the village, but the blanket smells terrible having been touched by a human, and the village leaders decide the human must be chased away. So their top warrior heads out to handle the situation. In this world, the law is apes must kill humans. Humans have become lesser beings unable to talk and are considered akin to wild dogs. The human that found their blanket earlier followed them back to the village. Noah encounters her in the fish smokehouse. Afraid of apes, she gets scared and breaks his egg in her escape. With the egg ceremony in only a few hours and not wanting to disappoint his father, he decides to ride back out and find a new egg. He never gets there. On the journey, he encounters Proximus Caesar's henchmen, who have been hunting for the human. They stumble across the village warrior that departed earlier and conclude an ape settlement is nearby. Armed with kinda cattle prod electric spear things, they capture Noah's village and take them away. Noah tries to do battle with the biggest ape, the henchman leader Silver, and save his father, but is instead defeated and left for dead. But he doesn't die. Awakening in his now empty and burnt village, he buries his father and promises to bring his village back. Jumping on a horse armed with the broken cattle prod spear, he starts following the tracks of his village and their captors. Along the way, he encounters Raka, who is something of a preacher and believes Caesar was an educator who in his day lived side by side with humans, the good times. Noah wants to just get back on his journey, and Raka becomes convinced that fate has brought them together, so he joins the trip. It is at this point that Noah's father's eagle begins following, but refuses to land on Noah's arm, as he can't see them sing the song correctly his father would use to draw the bird towards him. He finds this irritating, and considers it a sign that the universe is mocking him for failing to beat his village's invaders. Raka knows a lot about humans too, which is convenient as the human girl is still following Noah. Raka invites her into the camp as she's cold and can't make fire, and offers her a blanket. She watches knowingly as Noah tries to work out how the cattle prod spear thing produces electricity. And yes, this is foreshadowing that she is not as dim-witted as other humans. Then we get more foreshadowing a few minutes later, when Noah finds an old telescope and is amazed by what he sees in the sky. Then the human Nova is as well. In the telescope, I wanted them to see the lost mission to Mars from the first movie, and the premise of the original series, coming back to Earth after passing through a wormhole. But I don't think we're going to get that story from this new franchise, which is a missed opportunity. More on this later. The next day, our group finds zebras drinking in a river, and a few moments later, humans that resemble cavemen come to do the same. The apes decide Nova should join her own kind, and leave her with Raka wanting to stay behind to help the humans, as he believes this is what Caesar would have done. Then moments later, Silver and his ape gangsters turn up and easily capture all the basic humans, with Nova escaping from net and the other traps the gangsters use. Still, Silver is closing in on Nova, who is hiding in a cornfield. Noah sees this happening but can't work out where Nova is. That is, until she speaks. Riding in to save Nova, they escape and joined again by Raka. Noah tells us some humans can still speak, and also knows whether they've taken the villages. She was actually heading in that direction, so this is all just a big coincidence that they kept meeting. Noah doesn't like the deception and is now suspicious of Nova. Soon after, Silver succeeds in capturing the group. In the process, Raka dies after they resist. Our group is brought to an old ship that is rusting away on a beach with a US military bunker nearby. This is where we meet Proximus Caesar, responsible for capturing ape tribes and trying to build a kingdom. He has a pet human in William H. Macy who can read and research whatever he needs from old books. Proximus is also very interested in the Roman Empire and sees society he is building as the apes roam. Proximus is trying to get into the bunker as he believes the technology in there will speed up building this great kingdom for the apes. He's interested in getting his hands on Nova as he believes she knows another way in beyond trying to blow the door open, which the apes try daily, always ending in fatalities. Macy's character is excited to meet Nova and tells her she will have a great life here. The apes take great care of him and soon her. She sees him as a traitor to the human race for helping the apes, but he doesn't think he is making a difference in their evolution. He ultimately is correct, as there is no way that gunpowder would be able to blow open an army bunker that was built to withstand a nuclear blast. Noah is reunited with his mum, his friends, and his clan. All of the clan's eagles no longer go near their owners though, and watch them from afar. These apes who have known no violence are defeated, and the eagles don't completely recognize who they are. While the apes from his village try to tell Noah, this is life now, he refuses, and will do what is needed to fulfill the promise he made to his father. Facing Nova, he asks her if she knows another way in, and she does. So Noah and his two climbing buddies from the start break into the bunker through air vents high up in the cliffs. Before they go, they set a trap to flood the apes' kingdom, with Noah showing them how to make improvised explosives. I mean, she doesn't know how to make her own fire to keep warm, but bombs, no problem. Okay. Inside, Nova heads into a communications center, grabbing a hard drive thing that I guess can decode satellite comms, and then a gun case. Grabbing a revolver, loading it, while Noah and his two friends are exploring a school, where they discover a book about a zoo, and it is here they learn apes were once less than humans. Rather than escaping through the safe way they came in, for some reason they decide to open the bunker's main door, which they do. And the whole ape army is there waiting. From here, you know what happens. Nova uses the gun to kill one of Proximus's closest advisors, then Nova manages to blow the bombs and the settlement floods. All the apes must escape now into the bunker and climb, while Nova just kind of escapes by magic teleportation abilities. Disney. The apes that make it end up on the ledge where the climbers originally entered. Proximus is furious and proceeds to beat Noah within an inch of his life. But Noah has found his song and singing "The birds call, the eagles come to save the day, swooping Proximus." And very soon, the whole Eagle clan are singing, and their eagles are joining in, until Proximus is overcome, falling to his death off the side of the cliff. Cut to Noah in the village back home, rebuilding. He kept his promise. This is when Nova shows up to say goodbye, with a gun held behind her back, as she isn't sure if Noah will kill her after she nearly killed every ape last time they were together. Noah is still peaceful, and effectively says go away. Which she does, and the film ends with her delivering the communications hard drive thing to a satellite facility. It is the missing piece they need to try and put out a distress call. They get an answer from other humans somewhere, and the film ends with Nova looking up at the sky. The lesson this movie seems to give us is humans can't be trusted, and we are a plague that just won't die out. We will always prioritize ourselves and are indifferent to who or what we hurt to achieve our outcomes. To Disney's 20th Century Studios credit, telling this not through a straight white male character is a refreshing change. But Noah still annoys me a lot. She does a lot of things that don't make sense, and her knowledge of how the world works seems to change scene to scene. This is 340 years after the end of human civilization, and she will know about ancient Rome. She will know about how to make bombs. She will know off the top of her head the blueprints of a bunker she has never been in before, but making her own fire? Ooh, too hard. If she believes apes to be dangerous, why does she steal from them or follow them to their village? What makes this more annoying is there was a path to tell this story in a manner that would have made more sense, and that was to be faithful to the original material. The lost mission on Mars could have turned back up, and the humans on the ship are from our time. They are scientists, capable of knowing how comm systems work. They know what ancient Rome is, and it would have been more believable that they knew their way around a US military bunker. Look, I really like Noah's story arc. It's simple but effective, and the world building in this movie was pretty fucking cool too. I don't know if this film is worth the ticket price to see it at the cinema, but I would recommend checking it out one day, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. Look, thanks for listening this long. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.